Yo, what is going on, guys? Flashverse here, and welcome back to another video on The Flash Season 8. And this will be my synopsis breakdown for The Flash Season 8, Episode 5, aka the finale for this Armageddon event, titled Armageddon Part 5. Obviously, so far we are 2 episodes down with this crossover, and we have 3 more episodes left, in which episode 1 was a pretty good way to kick off this crossover, but holy crap, episode 2 was insane. It was definitely the best Flash episode we've had in such a long time, definitely in like the past 3 years. I would even go as far to say that this episode was either in like my top 10 or in my top 5. It's probably in my top 5 for sure. It was seriously such an insane episode, and we know things are only about to get crazier and crazier as we progress through these remaining 3 episodes. Obviously, we will get more twists and turns on the way, and we will get more mysteries being revealed, and Barry's day is only going to get even worse and worse. Yeah, I am really excited to see how everything comes to an end, but yeah, we recently got the synopsis for episode 5 for this Armageddon event, which is obviously the finale, and I will read over it, I will do a breakdown, and obviously give you guys my quick thoughts and theories in regards to what I think could potentially happen. But before I go over anything, however, you guys don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel so you are aware of more Arrowverse content coming your way. Okay, so yeah, I will go over the synopsis and then I will do the breakdown. So the synopsis kicks off as followed. The exciting conclusion to the 5-part Armageddon event brings the return of Mia Queen. The conclusion of Armageddon presents an opportunity for the Flash to end his lifelong battle with the Reverse Flash for good, but the payoff could be too much for Barry and Team Flash to handle. Meanwhile, Mia Queen drops in from the future looking to save a lost loved one, and she won't let anything stand in her way. So yeah, this is a really exciting synopsis. I can't wait to see Reverse Flash return, and also we will be having one guest star for this episode, and that is none other than Mia Queen, aka the Green Arrow. We won't be having any other characters. So yeah, we do have a hint in regards to how she plays into the crossover as well through this synopsis. And also, just to mention, guys, because a lot of you guys have been asking me this question in the comment section in my previous videos, this is the episode where Barry will get the gold boots. It's going to be near the end of episode 4, or if not, it's definitely going to be episode 5 for sure. Through set photos, we know that Barry does have the gold boots in episode 5, so we know that for a fact. So he will get the gold boots in this episode. Okay, so firstly, breaking down the first line of the synopsis. The conclusion to Armageddon presents an opportunity for the Flash to end his lifelong battle with the Reverse Flash for good, but the payoff could be too much for Barry and the team to handle. So we did obviously know that Reverse Flash would have been returning for this crossover, and the episode he will return will be for episode 4, but it seems like he'll be having a bigger role than we've anticipated because he's going to be there for episode 5 as well, which does actually lead me to believe that Thawne was the one behind everything all along. This does genuinely lead me to believe that it was Reverse Flash which made the Flash look like he is turned against the city, and also it does look like it was Reverse Flash that was responsible for changing the timeline to make it look like Joe was dead. So just for those who haven't watched my theory video on this, because I did do an ending explained video for episode 2, I will briefly explain it over here, but if you guys want to see it in more detail, then be sure to check out that video. It will be linked in the description down below. But essentially, the reason Barry doesn't remember anything that's happened is because this is a new timeline which has been rewritten. This meaning that someone has changed the timeline continuously to such an extent where Barry doesn't remember what happened. Now, the reason why this makes sense is because, as we know, when the speedster changes the timeline, for example Flashpoint, the whole timeline is rewritten, changing the memories of every non-speedster around. So in the case of Flashpoint, Wally has always been the Flash since the very beginning. Iris and Barry never grew up with each other because Nora and Henry Allen were never dead. Or in the case of Henry Allen, he never went to prison. Cisco was a billionaire and Caitlin was an eye doctor, so Team Flash did not exist at all. It was just Iris and Wally doing the whole Team Flash thing, if you will. And all of them had no memories of the previous timeline. Cisco was never this nerdy tech guy working for Star Labs, and Caitlin was never a doctor working at Star Labs as well. However, in the case of the speedsters, that being Barry and Eobard Thawne, they, on the other hand, remembered everything in the previous timeline, but do not have any trace of memories in this new timeline, because technically speaking, they never lived in it. They're just simply time traveling. And this makes sense because in this Armageddon timeline, Joe has supposedly died 6 months ago, but 6 months ago from the Flash Season 8 is actually the Flash Season 7 finale, where we literally saw Joe alive. And Barry knows that Joe is alive. He doesn't remember him dying, but the others think that Joe is dead. Meaning someone has been pulling the strings and has been messing with the timeline all along, and my theory is that it is actually Eobard Thawne, aka the Reverse Flash, who has been doing this all along. Maybe the Reverse Flash took over the body of Barry Allen in the future, and the way this could work is that there would essentially be two versions of the Flash in the same time period. So we could say one is Reverse Barry and then the other one is our Barry. And here is how my theory works. So let's take an example. So let's go over the scene where Barry fights Zotar for the second time. So when we followed Barry, he simply defeats Zotar with that lightning blast, cuffs her up, and then goes to Chester's garage. That would be what Barry has done during those scenes. And then Reverse Barry, which is obviously Reverse Flash disguises Barry from the future, would see that Barry defeats Zotar, and when our Barry goes to Chester's garage, this is when Reverse Barry goes out in Central City and causes chaos. This would make sense because A, we have never seen Barry do anything besides perform a lightning blast on Zotar and go straight to Chester's garage. And B, Barry would have been way too stressed to focus on anything else because in the garage, that's when he finds out that Joe died 6 months ago and he's living it for the first time. So it would be a massive shock for him to think about anything else. So essentially, Barry would not have remembered causing chaos across the city because he never has done it in the first place. It would have been Eobard who's done it all along. And the same goes for Joe's death. We know that Season 8 takes place 6 months after the Flash Season 7. So maybe during the Flash Season 8, Episode 1, somewhere around there, everything was going normal at first. No timeline changes or anything like that. But someone, that potentially being Eobard Thawne, aka the Reverse Flash, could have time traveled to the Flash Season 7 finale, killed Joe, and could have run back to the future to get revenge on Barry like that because of what Barry did to him in the Season 7 finale. Therefore, rewriting the timeline for every non-speedster around, which is why they would think that Joe is dead. That's why Caitlin, Chester, Iris, Cecile, Allegra, that's why they all think Joe is dead. But Barry, as a speedster in tune with the Speed Force, would not have been rewritten with this new timeline because he would still have the memories of the timeline prior to Joe's death because he's a speedster, so it wouldn't affect him. Which is why he would not remember things such as him seeing Joe die or him giving a eulogy at Joe's funeral because technically this Barry has never lived it before. So yeah, this does actually lead me to believe that the real main villain is not actually Despero, but it will be none other than Eobard Thawne, aka the Reverse Flash. Now I'm going to reiterate the synopsis again because this part is very important. So, the conclusion to Armageddon presents an opportunity for the Flash to end his lifelong battle with the Reverse Flash, but the payoff could be too much for Barry and the team to handle. So maybe the reason why the payoff could be too much to handle is because if Barry stops Thawne right now, he would technically lose his abilities because this battle between him and Thawne, it's a never-ending loop. If Eobard gets defeated right now, technically speaking, the Flash and Reverse Flash would have never gone back to the night that Nora Allen was murdered. Therefore, Nora Allen would have never been murdered, and then Eobard Thawne would have never been stuck in the past for 15 years, meaning the particle accelerator wouldn't have exploded. Thus, Barry would not have been struck by lightning in the year 2013. It could also be that Flash could have disappeared somewhere. Maybe Barry gets lost in time, which stops him from being able to defeat Thawne, or it could be that he gets lost in time after he defeats Thawne. And then this could actually make sense because episode 6 is actually an interlude episode with Bart, Nora, and Jay Garrick. So maybe they would try to save Barry from wherever he is stranded. Now, we do know that there is no way that they're going to tie a bow on the rivalry between the Flash and Reverse Flash right now because we do need the Reverse Flash for the final season of the Flash, and season 8 is not the final season of the Flash, so there will still be more Eobard Thawne after Armageddon. But the next part of the synopsis goes, meanwhile Mia Queen drops in from the future looking to save a lost loved one, and she won't let anything stand in her way. So yeah, I was very interested to see how Mia Queen plays into this event, and it does look like the reason she is returning for this finale is because of this lost loved one. In regards to who this is, it's probably going to be William Queen, who is obviously Mia's brother, because from the Green Arrow and the Canary's Backdoor pilot, for those who haven't watched it, he has gone missing and we didn't really know what happened after that because the show never got picked up. So they're probably going to do something around that, and maybe Mia time travels to the past and then she's able to like track William over there or something along those lines. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, I'm really interested to see how Mia actually plays into this crossover and how this ties into this loved one. But yeah guys, thanks for watching. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please give a like and subscribe. Be sure to tell me in the comment section down below what you're most looking forward to for this Armageddon event. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.